Alright guys, welcome to the channel. Today we will be playing Dark Souls Remastered. Um, so to start off, we're gonna name our character. We're gonna choose male because I'm a male. And we're gonna choose the thief class so that we start off with the Master Key. For the gift, we're choosing the Tiny Binks ring. That way we get a little bit extra stamina. And an average physique, commoner face. We're gonna choose short hair and dark brown hair. And these are our stats and our starting equipment. We're gonna accept and start the game with this character. We're gonna skip the intro just because I've seen it many times. But if you want to see it, you could always just go on YouTube and look it up. Alright, so we're gonna start off getting the dungeon cell key that opens this door. And we're gonna run forward past these guys so they don't do anything. There's messages written on the floor that give you tips on how to play the game. But since I already know how to play it, I'm just gonna run past them. We're gonna climb up this ladder and go to the right. Here we're gonna find a bonfire. Now the bonfires are used for healing as well as leveling up. The starting bonfire has nothing, so you can just go on past it and open these doors. Now here, up here, the boss is gonna fall, called the Asylum Demon. So we're gonna run past it into this door to the left, and we're gonna find another bonfire. Right, another simple bonfire doesn't have anything to do, but as we play the game, we're gonna see what the different bonfires do. We're gonna collect this item. It's a shield. We're gonna press start, change equipment, and put it on. Equip it. We're gonna run towards this guy and pick up the second item, which is our starting weapon, the bandit's knife. Now, the reason why I started off as a thief, not only because of the mastery key, but also because of the bandit's knife. The bandit's knife has what's called a bleed effect. There you go. As you can see in the bottom left, with the ox effects, yeah, it shows like a little blood stain, and then a 300. That's the bleed effect. So basically, after 3 attacks, in particular the bandit's knife, it requires only 3 attacks. It's gonna bleed and it's gonna deal a chunk of damage of the total max HP of the bad guys. Now for regular guys, that's only about 30% of their max HP, but for bosses that's only 10%. So we're gonna run up here. There's gonna be a bolt that's gonna fall. Oh, and it hit us. And it's gonna break open this wall. We're gonna run towards this wall, and we're gonna find this guy. I believe his name is Oscar. So we're gonna skip past his dialogue. He's gonna ask us a question. We're gonna select yes, and then keep skipping his dialogue. He's gonna give us the Estus flask and the Undead Asylum F2 East key. Skip past the dialogue. Now the Estus is gonna be probably the most important thing in this run, just because that's how we heal after taking damage. As you can see, it healed some of our health after using it, right? And the key he gave us is for this door, so it's not to open some secret room, it's just for right away. We're gonna move on to the right, to the left. We're gonna find these guys. And we're gonna kill him. Now there is another room here to our right. We won't need to go into it right now, There's basically another door that's locked, but we're gonna get the key later on when we return to this location. So right now we're gonna go through this fog gate, and we're gonna encounter the asylum demon from earlier. Right, we're gonna plunge into it. It's gonna do a good chunk of health. Now, for this boss fight, kind of easy. You just kind of have to avoid the attacks. Although it's kind of hard to focus while talking at the same time. Heal up a little bit. We're gonna go up to behind it and start stabbing it. As you can see, it did a chunk of health after the third hit. That's the bleed damage that I was talking about. It doesn't deal as much to bosses as it does to regular enemies, but it still does a good amount, especially for a weapon like the Thief's Dagger, or the Thieves Bandit's Knife, sorry. That doesn't deal a lot of damage by itself. That bleed is incredibly helpful for finishing off the bosses. But this won't be your weapon for the whole game. We're just gonna use it for now. And there you go. So after you kill him, he's gonna drop the big pilgrim's key, which opens this door. And we're gonna get some humanity. Now humanity, we're gonna use it later on to kindle bonfires. Kindling bonfires, basically every time we rest at those bonfires, it restores our HP. And it restores our Estus Flash back to its maximum. Its maximum being 5, unless we kindle, and then the maximum will go up to 10. And once we get the right of kindling, then it could go up to 15, 20. But that won't happen for a while. So right now we're just gonna settle with 5 and 10 every once in a while. We're gonna rest, and you can see it gives us different options here, including level up. We're gonna immediately go into it and level up vitality. Now vitality is basically our HP. The more vitality you have, the more HP you have. Attunement deals with magic. Right, basically attunement slots, as you can see into the far right. You level it up to 19, you get 5 attunement slots. But we won't worry about it this run, just because we won't be using magic. Endurance is for stamina and equipment load, which the stamina is needed for every basic attack, and equipment load for the carrying capacity of all the armors and weapons we have equipped, which will determine if we fast roll, mid roll, or fat roll. The strength and dexterity are used for weapons. Basically, different weapons scale differently with dexterity or strength, and the higher that stat is, the higher that the weapon will do. Resistance has to do with poisons, basically a useless stat, no one ever uses it. Intelligence has to do with, sorceries, and faith has to do with miracles. Intelligence and faith are like strength and dexterity, where the more you level it up, the higher those magic spells will be. Alright, and then Kindle, reverse hollowing, turns you human. It takes up 1 humanity, and it'll turn you back to a human. Once you're a human, you can kindle a bonfire using another humanity, which it requires 2 humanity in total to kindle a bonfire. And there's many ways that you could get humanity, including drops, founding them like this item right here. You could just find humanity just out in the open. We're gonna go this way. We're gonna pick up some fire bombs, which we won't use, but it's nice to have just in case, it ever, you ever need to have them. So we're gonna, we're gonna go this way to the middle path. We're gonna ignore this guy for now. Basically, this guy sells you miracles, which we won't be using in this run. We're gonna fall down here, go through this little door, and down here. We're gonna pick up homeward bones in this chest. So homeward bones are very useful. What they allow you to do is travel to the last bonfire that you rested at, which is very useful after a boss fight. Um, that way you don't have to travel back to the bonfire and risk losing the souls you get from the boss fight. So let's keep going this way. We're gonna find Lloyd's talisman. To be honest, I'm not sure what it does, but I just pick it up anyways. Down here are gonna be some skeletons. We're gonna ignore them for now. And we're gonna go up here to pick up some more souls. Now keep in mind these skeletons are still following us. So the NPCs in this game are kind of crazy because they follow you everywhere. If I turn around, you can see that they're still following me all the way over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to run towards the bonfire to reset them. Hopefully reach it before... Alright, there you go. Alright, so now we're going to go on to the first part of the game, which is the Undead Berg. We're going to climb up here and encounter a couple of olives. I don't know if you saw, but there was like this blood splash effect that happened after like a couple hits. That's the beat. That's the bleed that occurs from this weapon. A couple of different weapons have bleed, which for the most part I'll be using them during this run, just because they're very useful. Now these mostly scale with dexterity, so that's the other stat that we're going to be upgrading during this run. Go and pick up some souls. Now there's a lot of items that I will be ignoring during this run. This isn't a 100% run. This is basically just me playing throughout the game. Just talking to the mic for you guys to accompany me on this run. I'm gonna go up here, find another hollow. Some more souls over here. I'm gonna kill this rat. Now rats are pretty interesting because they have a chance of dropping humanity. They have a low chance, that's why I didn't get a drop from that one time, but later on during the game we're gonna encounter more rats. Especially when we reach the depths. There's a bunch of rats where we could probably farm for humanity if we need to. And here we are in the Undead Bird. We have two hollows here that we're gonna kill. We're gonna jump this gap. Over here we're gonna find a humanity, I believe. Alright. Come back over here. I'm gonna find two more hollows. Now, for the most part, these unarmored hollows will only take 3 hits to kill. Some hollows will have armor or shields, which will take a little bit more hits to kill. No, not that bad for a particularly weak weapon. We're gonna come up here, we're gonna have a dragon stepping on the bridge. It's pretty interesting just because, according to the lore that we skipped, all the dragons are supposed to be dead. But here we have one that's alive. So I wonder what could be the lore behind that one. As you can see, that hollow required a bunch of hits to kill. Because they had a shield. Now we're gonna go up here and kill this hollow with the crossbow. Has armor on. That's why it took 5 hits to kill instead of only 3. Now before we kindle that bonfire, we're gonna go over here. Sorry, before we light the bonfire, kindling. Most people skip these guys, they don't really do much. They wait for you to attack before they attack. Gonna go down here. Well, we're gonna ignore that just because there's stuff down there. It's a bunch of hollows and I don't want to deal with them right now. We're gonna go over here, we're gonna find our merchant. Get this dialogue. And what we're gonna purchase from him is the residence key. Now the residence key we're gonna use in order to unlock a certain NPC that sells us sorceries. Now I said that we won't be using sorceries during this run, but there is one sorcery that's very useful that I'm gonna try to give it a go just to see how well it works out, which is the magic weapon sorcery, which applies magic damage to our weapon in hand. Alright, let's go on up here and light this bonfire. Now, the thing about resting in bonfires is that every time we rest in the bonfire, it saves that location so that when we die, we respawn in this bonfire, which I want to do. I don't want to respawn back in Firelink Shrine. I want to respawn in this one. But it does reset the enemies. So we're going to have to kill these guys again. Not all of them, because we won't be going down there. Just these two that are close by that aggro. Alright. We're gonna go over here, we're gonna find three hollows, which will ambush you. So, oh no. Alright, try to get some distance. And heal a little. I like that. I like being able to hit multiple hollows with one button press. Pretty interesting, but dexterity weapons don't really do that. For the most part, that's strength weapons that tend to do that. Because they're weapons that swing. We're gonna head on to this back one first, just because he doesn't have a shield. And he throws firebombs from a distance. Now the thing about holding up the shield is that you recover stamina less, or recover stamina slower. So every once in a while you're gonna see me drop a shield, just so that I could recover stamina faster. Gonna go in here. Now if you didn't have the master key like I had, the residence key will open that door, and it's gonna lead us to this chest, which contains gold pine resin. Gold pine resin is pretty useful just because it deals electricity damage to our weapon. So aside from its regular physical damage, it'll also deal electricity damage. Gonna go on up here to kill this follower that's shooting at us. Oh, here they are. As you can see, these guys really don't attack you guys. They mostly just stand around waiting for you to attack. And once you attack, you'll stagger, which they'll use that as an opportunity to attack you. But it's not that hard to take care of them. Alright, we're gonna go down here and up. these stairs. We're gonna find a hollow that sets a booby trap for us, which is gonna be this barrel of fire. Gonna try to dodge it and unable to dodge it. I always get hit by it. It's really hard to dodge. Alright, and just like that, we have cleared all the hollows in our way towards the first boss fight, which is the something demon. I keep forgetting. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna quit the gold pine resin, which will help me during the fight. Otherwise, I will do very little damage. Before we start, we're gonna go on up these stairs. We're gonna find 2 hollows with crossbows, and we're gonna kill them. That way they don't shoot at us while in the middle of the boss fight. And also because for the boss fight we will be climbing up here to do plunge attacks on it, which deal a good chunk of health, maybe like 30% of the health. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look up this tower and slowly move forward. As soon as I see it jump, I'm gonna run back to this ladder. The Taurus demon, that's the one. Later on we're gonna fight a different demon called the Kappa demon. So we're gonna jump down, plunge attack, and as you can see we deal almost half the damage, half the HP and damage. And each one of our attacks does massive damage rather than oh no. Alright, luckily it jumped back. When this boss isn't that hard, so I'm just talking. And just like that, we'll take care of it. Like I said, this boss isn't that hard. It's just a matter of not talking while you fight it. So we're gonna gain a bunch of souls from this fight. We're gonna homeward bone back to the bonfire, where we'll use the souls to level up, and that will only invest them in vitality. Right now, since I have a lead weapon, dexterity doesn't really matter, especially because the weapon I have is particularly weak. So any amount that I upgrade it will be a minimal amount. So I'm gonna be upgrading my vitality for a while, just so we could get more HP. For the most part, defense doesn't really do anything in this game. The difference between having zero defense and the highest possible defense does really not that much damage. It doesn't really reduce the damage taken by all that much. What it does add is poise. As we could see in the far right at the top, there's poise value. I have 0 at the moment because I have relatively light armor. But as soon as I get heavier armor, that poise will go up. And what poise basically does is that it helps you not stagger while the enemies are attacking you. And it helps close those windows that open up as as you're in combat with enemies. Alright, so this was the first boss fight. I'm gonna leave for now, and we'll see you next time.